good to see you. Are you well?
Good to see you too, Pete.
Oh,
Pete,
good.
I almost called you Peter.
Yeah, that's my second name, apparently. It's okay, everybody does it. Now, the JSE was dragged into negative territory today. What happened there?
So yes, we did see that the JSE closed in the red today, and I think the big theme that's still dominating global markets is fears around a non-trade deal between the US and China. So there were rumors that sparked up late last night that a meeting between the two superpowers might be cancelled, which means that these discussions are going to continue to be stalled, leaving global markets in limbo. But we did see a little bit of positivity coming through from your platinum miners, but we did see that the banks were lower as well as industrials, and they were led by Naspers, which is a JSE heavyweight. When we look at the JSE, we really look at how Naspers is trading, and they were down about 3%, and they attributed their losses on the bourse today on what happened in Hong Kong, where one of their investments, Tencent, is listed, and that's not doing really well because some of the games that it wants to introduce into the markets have been met by a lot of adverse reaction from Chinese regulators there. So that stock not doing well and then filtering through into Naspers. So the JSE really falling in line with what the global sentiment is around the US-China deal, slower economic growth for the globe, as well as the IMF had indicated earlier this week. So that is what it's watching as it trades during the day.
Now, Naspers, of course, a shareholder in Tencent. Now, the local currency gained as much as 1.1% today after that latest inflation data. It showed a drop in price increases in December. Is that good news for us?
That's good news for us. So inflation outlook, just as the SARB had indicated when it delivered its MPC, that the inflation trajectory has improved. So we saw from just over 5%, it went down to 4.5%, meaning that food prices really didn't change much and improving the inflation outlook. And it goes back to what the SARB saying, that from introducing 4 rate hikes, which included the rate hike we saw in November, we'll be seeing just 1 interest rate hike between now and 2021. So that's brilliant news for the consumer. If you've got a bond, if you've got a long-term loan, if you're paying off a car, you can have a sigh of relief. You know, you've already got that constrained pocket. But this might change because we are seeing in the north the drought. So the maize production there is suffering, and we may see maize prices increase depending on the output that may be happening in that particular area.
Okay. All right, now to some fake news. There's news which indicated a little bit earlier today a merger between the country's biggest gold miners made the markets happy, but it wasn't true at all.
It wasn't true. And the interesting thing is that Gold Fields and Anglo Gold Ashanti shares are still trading in the green quite well, quite significantly so, after Bloomberg posted a story that Gold Fields was going to be bought by Anglo Gold Ashanti. Now, I think for any investor, this comes as good news because Gold Fields has been struggling quite a bit, and they've been weighed down by one of their operations, South Deep Mine, which they acquired in 2006. So they've spent about 32 billion rand trying to have operations going smoothly in that particular mine, but they haven't been able to return any yields. So in the past 5 years, they've made losses, significant losses of about 4 billion rand. So a sale, if it were to happen, would actually be good news for Gold Fields. And I mean, the article did say that if the sale did happen, it would make, the merger would make it the 3rd largest miner in the world at a value of about $8 billion in value. So if you think about it, it would actually be a good thing. But Gold Fields has come out and they've completely distanced themselves from this particular story, saying they've got no intention and there've been no discussions with Anglo Gold to sell, and they are deeply entrenched in their South African operations, and they're going to continue investing.
Is it one of those things like, let's just test the waters and see what happens?
See what the markets will react. That could be a case. You never know. These struggling miners, I mean, we're seeing it with Lonmin and Sibanye, where Lonmin is looking to be bought out by Sibanye because of struggling operations. So you perhaps could be on the right track there, that we're just testing the waters, seeing if the markets are going to like this. And they do, right? So if it does happen, then we'll be, you know, I think the markets will be very pleasantly compensated in terms of yields and production going forward.
Fantastic stuff. Rafiwa, thank you so much.
Thank you, Tony.